Welcome back to your favorite sports podcast. This week, we're going to talk a little bit of NFL draft with Austin Knapp. We've got our weekend picks, and we got a little bit of draft buzz coming in here through Wednesday, since we're recording early to get this out to you before the draft. This episode is sponsored by Way Good. Davis is down 10 pounds with Way Good and working out. All right, let's go. All right, fellas. It's been a busy week. We've had two different major sports playoffs going on. Got the NFL draft coming up. We got Scotty Scheffler winning again at the RBC Heritage. 2 weeks in a row he's won. Masters and RBC, so good for him. I'm going to start this off with the Lakers and Sixers lose the first two games of each of their respective series.
Tread lightly.
Was that expected for you? What, you going to LeBron stand me right now?
Brother, I think anyone that knows me knows that I'm a LeBron stan. What to touch on the Lakers, just a fun fact. Their bench has scored 17 points. And the players that contributed to those 17 points go by the name of Taurean Prince. So let's use a rotation of 8 players. Of those additional 3, you got 17 points. I feel like AD and LeBron kind of this last game 2, they gave literally everything that they had and still came up short. D'Lo showed up, but it didn't help that they blew a 20-point lead.
No.
But now they go back to LA for 2 games, so we'll see how it goes.
I think their biggest problem is stopping Jokic, and it's not happening.
They did a decent job of it.
Correct. But
in game 2, but I mean Jamal Murray, he's gone and he's solid. I mean, he's as solid as it gets. But it really comes down to you, like I said, your bench. You know, them contributing if they're not scoring at least defensively. They've struggled. I think they're 0-11 against Denver.
I think they're 0-11 since the last time they beat them in the playoffs, aren't they? It's been like a whole year, or a year and a half, whatever it is.
I don't know. It's a weird situation. I initially thought the Lakers would come out and win it. I still think they do. It just makes it harder, of course, being down.
So what I hear is that LeBron needs help.
I don't know. No, I don't think that. I don't think LeBron needs anything, but I mean he can't do it himself. But I mean D'Lo and AD have both.
I think he needs a bench.
Yeah, he's got to have somebody come in the second rotation. It's got to happen.
He's 39. He needs a break.
Did I miss the inside joke?
No,
I was trying to do some math right there. He doesn't need anything, but he needs some help.
Did I say that?
You basically said it. You basically said that.
Okay. Maybe
but he needs a bench. He needs a bench. That's
all right. He needs a
bench.
I meant in turn. He doesn't need any additions to the team. He needs his team to show up. That's
correct.
What I meant.
He needs his bench to play. So he doesn't need help. He needs a bench.
Yeah, remember Gabe Vincent when he had that Heat culture? Yeah, he didn't have that anymore.
No. The Sixers, I mean, Joel Embiid's playing on like out of both legs, he's got maybe 40% of or 50% of one. He's got one working leg, well, the other one's not even halfway.
Joel Embiid, his whole body's at about 40%.
Yeah. They're struggling. And Joel, I'll give this last night, or was it last night or Monday night that they played? They played tonight?
It was
played Monday.
Monday night, yeah.
He gave it his all. There was not much more he could do. And then you've got what I think their downfall was here is that the Sixers social media team decided to throw a bone out there early and post Tyrese Maxey as a Jordan flu game meme, and then they get beat. You can't do that. You jinx the whole team right there.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
That's a tough look because Jordan won that game. Tyrese Maxey didn't. Jordan
But
had the
Tyrese
flu.
Maxey did hoop.
Tyrese
Tyrese
Maxey
Maxey
did
did get
while
fouled like
shitting
3
his
times
pants. He
while
did hoop.
calling his coach called timeout. I don't know. Look, I want the Knicks to win this series. I didn't want the Knicks to win the other night because I had a lot of money riding on the Sixers. And I thought I was there. I thought I had it. I was starting to build my next parlay and then realized I didn't have anything in the account.
Correct.
The Knicks are hot.
They are.
Oh,
Shout out
hey.
Chan Camp.
Josh Hart rebounding. Have y'all seen the numbers?
No.
Go look at that.
How about
So
you?
I'm
Phil?
placing. All right. If you see Josh Hart, over under 11.5 rebounds, are you taking the over or under?
Under.
Under.
Yeah. I did too. You would have lost by a mile.
Good. Like I
Really?
normally do.
Yes. Like it is consistent. It's insane. He had 1 rebound like halfway through the first. I'm like, oh, this is a lock. This is the easiest money I've ever made. And into the first quarter, he ended up having like 6. I was just like, what the hell?
So take Josh Hart's over, and then he'll hit the under whenever I bet it. Perfect.
Exactly.
Good to know.
Exactly.
So if you want to win money, I'll take the Josh Hart over rebounds, and you can fade it and go to
The
the
average is
under.
14.
Damn.
It's insane.
Well, next NBA thing I have is
Bang!
The
I just won
Mavs-
money. Let's go.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Heat win.
They're up 9 with 10 to go.
Here we go. The Mavs get blown out in game 1, come back and win game 2. What happened?
Kawhi Leonard sucks. I didn't even mean to predict it, but I literally said last week that he might load manage a playoff game.
He did.
And then he comes back game 2 and they lose. Kawhi Leonard's the problem.
James Harden just snapped game 1. Dallas couldn't hit anything game 1. And then Luka showed up and just went off.
Yeah, Lucas might be the one. I'll say it. He's the best guard in the league.
I was talking to my wife last night, and we were saying that whenever our kids get a little older, like I guess the 5 and 6 range, we're going to put on Luka highlights and say it was me.
Oh, man.
Hell of a way to do it. And then the Bucks, I think are they 2-0 right now? Or they play tonight?
They lost yesterday.
They lost yesterday. Dame had 35 in the first half and 0 in the second half. Did FanDuel and DraftKings make a call, or what happened?
I don't know. I feel like Dame has done that on multiple occasions.
He did it to the Thunder, except it was vice versa, and he hit it in Paul George's face. So
yeah, I don't know. That's weird how that happens, but who knows? Vegas
how many shots was it
money.
on? I didn't even look at that. I don't even think I watched the second half of that game. All the games kind of sucked the other night. I think it was Sunday. Games were trash.
Well, I took him at the over. Like I took him at over 20, I think, and he was projected 25.5. So I took him over 20. So I won that leg of my parlay, just not the TJ O'Connell 2+ rebounds. He had 1.
He did have it on 24 shots. So I mean, that's not. I guess that's not too terrible.
And Giannis did not play, I don't think. So he had to do something to make up for it. So
yeah,
he did it.
He did. And
Pacers
then
also I think they're like number 1 on points per game, and they did not score the other night.
Well, did you hear what Halliburton said? I think after the game the other night or today's press conference, he said that he's heard a better crowd during home games of the regular season than he did their first playoff game.
That's not a good look.
No,
not a good look.
Not at all. So calling out the fans, though, I don't know how that goes.
Bad sports town.
Bad sports town. I don't know how that goes. So, is it in Indianapolis? Is that where they're at?
Yeah.
What a fucking horrible sports town that is, actually.
Honestly, I like Indy.
I hate Indy.
It's pretty cool. They've got a Chick-fil-A in there.
They can kick rocks. And then your one of your podcast NBA teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder, beat the Pelicans. So hell yeah.
They played tonight.
What a game.
They played tonight.
So
coming up,
SGA MVP? Anybody?
No.
MVP.
Jokic.
MVP. SGA.
Of course, I put in the all home team money line last week, and then the Oklahoma City game was the last one. Of course, like all the games sucked except for that one. So literally, I had to stress out making sure the last leg hit.
Thank God you didn't cash out.
I almost did. That was close.
No,
Very
you gotta
close.
keep it. You gotta let it ride.
But then again, I had to just say, you only bet $5 loser. Just let it ride.
Right. We don't need it that bad. And then as of right now, your Heat are up on the Celtics by 9 with 8:23 to go is what I'm seeing.
Yes, heat culture.
Correct.
We're the best at underperforming or overperforming. Boston is the best at underperforming.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, NHL. Your Florida Panthers are leading the Lightning 2-0 in the series, kicking that ass. Keep it up. Your Washington Capitals stink, Davis. They stink. Bad.
They didn't do that bad yesterday.
They
Yesterday
look like shit.
Yesterday was close. It was close. 4-3 is close.
Hold on, I gotta find.
Oh, I'm already on it. You're next. Don't worry.
Who do I like?
You like the Kings. They're playing the Oilers. They're down 1-0. Your problem is you're playing McJesus, who is one of the best NHL players. They think he's going to be the next Wayne Gretzky and Connor McDavid. So you guys actually only lost. That's what they call him. You only lost 5 more games than they won. So you didn't do terrible compared to them. I actually think the Kings, I think the Kings can come out and win in this series. They just need to steal one of these on the road, which could be tonight. They play tonight at 9. So,
I'll be watching it.
The Kings aren't looking terrible. Okay. Preds, they're tied 1-1. They stole a game last night on the road against Canucks. I think the Preds can beat them. Would be really, really cool to see. I don't think it happens, but it would be really, really cool to see the Preds and the Panthers in the playoffs so that I can go and not have to fly down to Florida like I originally thought for the Stanley Cup. I could go here, wear red, and talk shit to every Predators fan that I see. So there's that. And then as of right now, the 2 teams I hate the most in the NHL are playing each other Series 1. It's tied 1-1, and the Bruins are beating the Maple Leafs 2-1 right now. I would rather see the Bruins because I hate the Maple Leafs. Their fans suck.
I hate Boston. So
Maple Leafs, you suck. So respectfully, eat a dick. So, but Bruins are up 2-1 right now in the second. Or in the third, excuse me. I think it's the third. Yeah, in the third. So Bruins might steal one here at the Maple Leafs, and then this series might go to 7. So, but all that really matters is the Florida Panthers are up 2-0 on the Lightning going into tomorrow's game in Tampa. So
go Kings!
Hell yeah. And then the last thing that actually happened today for our Friday to Friday recap is T. Higgins requested a trade today, which we go over later, which you'll hear our NFL draft, mock draft with Austin Knapp. We didn't really mention this in there, but do you think this shakes up? Do you think they can get a first for him, or do you think it's only a second?
No, I think it's probably a second or third. But we kind of saw the writing on the wall. They're not going to enter contract talks with him until they get something settled with Jamar Chase.
Well, I don't. Did y'all? I want to say I saw that they agreed to like a long-term deal today
with Jamar Chase.
Maybe let me find that. Go ahead. I'm looking for that.
But I mean, it came out early on, shortly after the season, that he wanted out when contract talks came up.
I'm wrong. They just extended him, so I guess they took his 5th-year option. So that's no news. Duh.
But I don't know. I don't think it kills him.
Wide receiver, especially in a deep wide receiver class, a wide receiver, you're going to have to pay, not giving up much for him. So I don't know what he's worth. He's not worth much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, when the Titans were planning on trading for him or looking into trading for him, I shouldn't say planning, but when they were looking at trading for him, I think they wanted a second. I think they wanted a second and a second and a third, and since we didn't have a third this year, I don't think they were going for it because we were trying to give him a third for next year, which obviously we gave up our third next year for L'Jarius Sneed. But I think he takes a second. But, I mean, this is also a spot, Trevor, that I think the Chargers could be like in play for here. And if you only got to give up a second round pick for him, it may be worth it. Especially, let's say you take a tackle in the first round. You guys don't trade out of 5 or whatever the buzz has been for it. If you guys take a tackle in the first round, you trade your second for T. Higgins. I mean, I think you just get better right there.
What about the money situation?
No. Cap.
Yeah.
The what?
Cap. We're in a good position now.
Well, he's on franchise tag, so you don't have to technically re-sign him. You make him play a prove-it year.
Well, no, you'd still have to pick up his contract because it's not an option year.
True, but you're already over, right? I mean, does it? I don't know how that part works.
No, we're actually in the clear now.
Oh yeah, because you got rid of the. Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then Mac and Bosa restructured their deals, so we're in the green right now. So we would have enough to. I don't know what's left.
$20 million. I think it's $20 million for the franchise tag next year.
Yeah. So
he was supposed to go to
I mean
agency.
once after 2024, our cap problem's gone.
Right. And I wonder if it's one of those things, and like I said, I don't know how this works, but I wonder if it's one of those things where if you trade for him, can you take the franchise tag off, offer him an extension or a new contract, and make most of it a signing bonus this year so it doesn't go against your cap hit? I don't know how that works.
If the Chargers were to sign him?
Yeah. If the Chargers traded for him, does the franchise tag go away because he's not with that franchise anymore, technically?
No, because you'd be picking up that contract.
Well, I guess you're right. I do know that answer because L'Jarius Sneed was that way.
Yeah.
We're paying his contract this year. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So
I mean, I don't think you really have to worry about the cap space in that situation. Let's see. Yeah, we've got, like 30 mil in cap space now.
Right.
So, I mean, I like that. I like that idea. If you have to give up a second or third.
Perfect. You got a young wide receiver.
Yeah, you get a wide receiver. You get a wide receiver 1, and you still turn around and get your offensive tackle. So, but then it just begs the question: who do you get, J.C. Latham or Joe Alt?
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see tomorrow how that plays out.
Oh, I agree.
Do you think that trade will be done by tomorrow?
I think if it happens,
I don't think anything will happen until Chicago's on the clock.
True. All right. Anything else happen this week?
I don't think so. There's nothing really exciting.
Yeah, we just got a lot of playoffs going on. Got draft this week. It's pretty fun. And then,
baseball's rolling.
Baseball is rolling,
doing its thing. Fans are getting coaches kicked out of games.
Yeah,
correct.
Dodgers aren't the team that everybody thought they were.
Probably because their number one hitter is gambling, but what do we know?
He had to quit gambling.
He did have to quit gambling.
Lost his motivation.
So, all right, let's go to us with Knapp real quick. All right, fellas, thanks for joining us, Knapp, for our draft analysis. Let's just start from the top. Let's go to the Bears. Who's the obvious pick for the Bears?
I don't know. I think they could go receiver here.
Maybe at 9.
Got to be Caleb Williams, right?
I think this is obvious.
100%, 110.
I think this has been locked in for weeks. I think after his draft day visits or whatever, I think half the city of Chicago is painting their fingernails ready for him to be announced, and they're probably waiting at the door with a pick like this. Say, here, I don't even know why we don't need the 5 minutes or whatever it is. Just take the.
What are the chances we see a bust here?
I think it's high because the expectations are so high. Not to say that, I think he is going to be, but golly, we're calling him one of the greatest prospects to be a lock since Andrew Luck. Anything lower than that, anybody's going to call him a bust. I just think it's going to be easy to call him a bust.
Nick Wright had him in number 1 at the top 10.
I hate Nick Wright. I hate him.
He's so ugly.
He's got the biggest forehead and the biggest nose I've ever seen in my life. He needs to give up on the hairline.
I like him because he's a LeBron stan.
No. Okay.
I respect him for that.
I mean, with them having pick number 9 as well, I can see them just going Caleb Williams and then a wide receiver, which depending on how this falls. But I also think that it's not like they were a terrible team last year. What were they, 7-9 last year? So it's not like they were horrible last year. They can build around him, and they already started to build around him, and I think that can still happen. So I don't know. It kind of depends on his first year goes, because if he just doesn't show up this first year, it's not like he's in a Bryce Young situation. Like, he's in a situation to succeed, and he needs to do that. So I can see him being a bust. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go to Chicago with Chicago on his back. I mean, the pressure's there, unfortunately.
And new stadium announced today.
Yeah,
$4 billion.
So I mean, he's got the entire city, riding on. But I mean, I think that would be any expectation with anyone at number 1 or anyone selecting number 1 this year, and needing a quarterback. Caleb Williams, that city would be on his back.
Yeah,
it just pains me. This is since 2012. So in 12 years, this is the 3rd time Washington's had the second pick in the draft.
That's actually mind-blowing.
Yeah, 2012, we get RG3, which for the last 9 games of the season, that was the best time of my life. I haven't had a better time as a Washington fan. That was awesome. But you missed out on Andrew Luck. And then 2020, you are a 2-point conversion away from getting Joe Burrow.
I thought he was a bust.
He's going to be a bust.
Would he have been with Washington?
No, he would have been a Super Bowl champion already. But no. And then coming in this year, you're literally right there beside Caleb Williams, and it just hurts. It hurts. I'm excited for the next season, but I'm just tired of being so close to the number 1 pick.
Well, hopefully this one works out for you. So, I mean, we consensus that Caleb Williams number 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Commanders. Davis, we'll go to you first, and then Knapp to see if he agrees.
I want to hear Knapp first. I've kind of given my spiel the last few episodes.
What are we thinking here, Knapp?
Thanks, guys. I would say Jaden Daniels is going to be my projection there at 2. Feel like the floor is higher than, say, a Drake May or JJ McCarthy. Really, Jaden Daniels impressed me a lot last season at LSU. Thought he was tremendous. I mean, he had a historical season. Anytime you're scoring 50 touchdowns total in the SEC. I'll say out of everybody I've watched and tried to eval, I think Jaden Daniels is the fastest quarterback of everybody I've evaled. Now I've only evaled, 21 class, 23 class, 24 class. So I'm not going to say, I'm not going to put the Lamar stamp on him, but this guy is elite. Like, immediately becomes in my opinion, a top 5 athletic quarterback in the league. So
do you think his elbow holds up? He's got a funky looking elbow.
I think the elbow looks weird. Yeah,
it does.
It looks concerning, but I mean, he says he's fine. But seriously, his speed, if he can protect his body, I think that he's solid as a passer as well. Can complete balls at all 3 levels, and I think it'd be a good pick for Washington. That's where I would go if I was running the show at number 2.
So how big of so playing in the SEC, you play a lot of potential NFL talent defenses, I guess. You have a lot of players that are going to be in the NFL. So you're playing against higher competition than LSU, I guess, in Joe Burrow. They've kind of always had this NFL-style offense. How much is that playing a factor on getting him over Drake May and whatever style he played and then the competition level of the ACC?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. With Jaden, I just feel like he was able to really push the ball down the field this year. watching him complete balls at Brian Thomas, watch him complete balls at Malik Neighbors, and then playing, like, for example, on the road at Alabama. LSU, I think they lost that game 42-28, something like that. He got knocked out late though. But man, he played in a lot of big time ball games.
Yeah, I think I saw he had 400 yards and he got hurt in like beginning of the fourth quarter or something like that. So
he played great. Yeah, he played great. But then, I mean, you look just the SEC speed at Ole Miss. I know he played at Ole Miss this year. Missouri had a really solid team. I thought Missouri was the third best team in the SEC this past season. Yeah. And Jaden Daniels, the way that he looked as a passer in that game, you go back and YouTube that one. I mean, that for me, that was the selling point whenever I was like, this guy's my QB2. And I'm riding with Jaden Daniels. I know that Drake May, you could argue, the potential's higher. He's got that frame of 6'4", 220 plus, but hey, turn on that Mizzou tape.
Yeah.
I'm blown away.
I feel like the hype around Drake May has kind of subsided.
Kind of like Will Levis last year?
Substantially, yeah. Well, maybe not to that caliber, but I feel like it was almost, a month or two ago, it was Drake May's going to Washington. He's number 2. And now it's, Jaden Daniels has come in, J.J. McCarthy. It's been, Drake May's kind of fallen off of that top 5, where in reality, top 4 probably could use a quarterback.
I saw 2 things to Knapp's point. One is if you compare Jaden Daniels' stats to Caleb Williams' stats, they're almost similar. Like between the two. And that's saying something because in the SEC, I would say defense is harder than the Pac-12. And he has almost similar stats to Caleb Williams, who's supposed to be this generational talent. I think that says something about him. And he's got to put on a little weight. He's got to, add a little bit to that elbow, maybe get a little bit better protection. But with a lot better defenses in the SEC, I mean, if he's covering yards like that against way better defenses, that's going to say something about him in the long run. So you may be getting a good one there, Davis, that you just don't know about. The second thing that I have is in Cliff's offense, he wants more of a mobile quarterback, and I think you get that more in Jaden Daniels than you do in Drake May. Drake's, obviously mobile, but he's not near as mobile as Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels can be like a Kyler or like a Lamar type scenario where he just gets out and, if he gets in trouble, he can get out of the pocket and make a play.
Yeah, I agree with that.
To add on to that, Washington stole Brian Johnson. He is Washington's assistant head coach and offensive pass game coordinator. We stole him from Philly, and he kind of was a part of the helping Jalen Hurts development. So I think Washington's coaching staff, it matters who you pick, but I just think who they're putting around the players, I think that's going to take them. But I'm also very biased towards this.
Well, I think Dan Quinn is going to be kind of, smart about this and say, Cliff, the offense is yours. Like, we'll talk, we'll make sure we got the right game plan and stuff, but this offense is yours and you've got the reins. Go for it. I'm not going to be here. He's a defensive-minded coach. It's what, honestly, Vrabel probably should have done is gotten a great offensive coordinator and let him take the reins. He didn't do it, but I think Dan knows is like, this is my second head coaching stint. I'm letting Cliff take the reins. He's had head coaching experience. He knows how to run an offense. He knows the strengths of his players. Let him do it. And I think that'll be a good thing for Dan Quinn. Obviously, we'll see when the season comes, but that would be my guess on how he runs the team.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I want Jaden Daniels. I don't necessarily – I've never have cared for Drake May, which I got kind of scarred, not to say I didn't like Sam Howell, but I didn't want Sam Howell's backup quarterback at one point. Just didn't sound good.
Well, he's gone now, so you don't have to worry about him.
Well, honestly, what about the trade package Washington got for him? Seeing Zach Wilson, Russell Wilson, and everybody getting traded, then we pretty much got a third rounder out of Sam Howell.
Yeah, that's nuts.
At least.
Unreal.
Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to talk about Washington too much.
Okay, Jaden Daniels at 2. Patriots. My guess is here, and y'all can refute whatever. I think one of 2 things happen. I think they either go wide receiver, they trade out of it. That's just my guess, but
I don't know. I get it depends on what's offered to them,
right?
Or what they can get out of that trade. I mean, if you I don't know. That's an interesting spot because I mean you've got a decent veteran there,
And you've got a new coach and new GM.
Yeah, I mean I think if you end up in a position to where you can trade back to where if they are going to trade Michael Penix in a position to get Penix, but I think as it stands, I think they would stick with the number 3 and get McCarthy.
Or they could go Drake May. I mean, they could go. I can see that too. I mean, I can see it. I think with signing Jacoby Brissett, it's one of two things. You either have a veteran backup that's going to go in for a spot to mentor a young quarterback coming in out of this draft, or you trust Jacoby Brissett to throw the football to a stud wide receiver that you can get in the first round. I think they're going the latter. I think they're going to go wide receiver, let him toss it, and then see where they stand next year and get a quarterback then.
So, talking quarterback, I mean, if Drake May's not your guy and you're wanting wide receiver, in my opinion, I'm trading this pick to like the Giants or somebody and moving back to 6 and taking a wide receiver there, whether Marvin Harrison Jr. is left or Malik Neighbors.
I think a lot of this rides on that number. What Arizona does at number 4.
What Arizona does, and I don't think that they'll do anything until they're on the clock. Like I don't think they'll agree or announce anything until Arizona's ready to go. And honestly, I think Minnesota moves up from 11 for that and takes JJ McCarthy or Drake May, because whoever's in that offense is going to thrive. I mean, they've got the weapons, they've got the offensive line. It's just all about how can he get the football to them. But the Patriots are in a very interesting spot here because you don't know if Arizona's going to trade out of it, and you could, but Knapp, what do you got on it?
For me, I have New England's brass thinking about the future, and I think they take Drake May and groom him behind Brissett this season. You got Gerard Mayo, new head coach. I know Jonathan Kraft, Robert Kraft's son, allegedly has been really involved in the process. I feel like whenever you have ownership really involved, to me, that smells like quarterback, and for Drake May, I mean, like I said earlier, he's got the frame, that 6'4", 220 plus, big arm, mobile. Maybe if he sets a year, I wouldn't endorse him stepping on the field, in a big role in year 1. But I think New England thinks about the future, takes Drake May. But I mean, I could see McCarthy, like Lamar said, I could see McCarthy there as well. I mean, he's another potential guy.
I think the hype around McCarthy's just increased quite a bit, and it's I don't know. It's interesting.
That coaches had a lot to do with that, though.
Yeah.
You know what ownership being involved smells like to me, Knapp?
Commanders.
Dan Snyder.
Oh God.
So yes, it will be quarterback if that's the case.
Oh me. Sorry.
So do we think Drake May here?
I put my money on it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm currently putting my money on Jaden Daniels, offensive rookie of the year. Plus 800.
Oh wow.
25 on that.
Okay, on to 4 for Arizona. Davis, what do you have here?
Arizona, give me a wide receiver to put with Kyler Murray.
Lamar?
Yeah, short king.
I don't know. To be honest, this draft is messing with me because I think a lot rides on what Arizona does and what the Chargers do. There's going to be a lot riding on that. But I'm going to go with the safe bet with going with Marvin Harrison.
I've seen way too much buzz that they're trading out of this pick with Minnesota, and I think Minnesota's going to throw them a hell of a package to do it. I mean,
I think Minnesota waits to trade with the Chargers.
Yeah, but I wouldn't trade before.
But I mean, you got to think is if they can give Arizona the number 11 pick and a second round pick this year, then they get the number 4 pick and they lose their second round. You still get in the top 12 of the first round. Do they do it? I mean, you get an extra second-round pick this year. Actually, I don't even know if Arizona has a second-round pick.
I think they do.
I think they do. Full list of their picks. Okay, well, thank you.
Nat, do you remember off the top of your head what Houston paid to get back into the first round, early first round last year?
They fleeced whoever it was.
Trading to get in the third pick.
Was it the third pick they traded back up to? Or
Yeah, because they took Stroud 2 and then traded to 3 with Arizona to get Will Anderson Jr. It was something. I think they had to trade this year's first round was involved in the package.
Yeah.
Because I remember that, Arizona owns Houston's pick.
But don't they own the Browns pick since the Browns traded for Deshaun? Is that why they did that?
I believe so.
Because I think it worked out better for them because the Texans have a higher pick than what the Browns do. So they just traded them that pick, and then the Texans go on, and now they have the Browns pick, which is better. I think you're right on that.
My dream scenario is Washington trading back up somewhere in here and either taking Marvin Harrison Jr. or Joe Alt.
That is not happening.
We have 6 top 100 picks. We can make it happen.
You're going to have to give up your first. If you want to get back up in here, you're going to have to trade your first for next year.
Well, people are going to think we're going to suck next year, so that's going to be an attractive trade.
You're not wrong. So, I mean, just my guess is I think Arizona trades with Minnesota here or Denver. I think one of those two things happen. It's Minnesota or Denver try to trade up. If that doesn't happen, I think you're right, Lamar. I think they try to trade with the Chargers. I think that one of those two teams try to get into this top 6, top 7 scenario right here. So I'll put whatever y'all want on here, but that's what I think happens. That's my opinion on it.
I would say I'd go with the
safe bet.
Unless they get a haul, I'd go with the safe bet of Marvin Harrison. Because I mean their wide receiver 1 is
Michael Wilson.
Is it Greg Dortch?
Oh, is Dortch still there?
Yeah. But I mean, that's, unless they get a haul, I think they go with the safe bet.
They have, as of March 2024, they have Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch.
Yeah.
Yes, Dortch gang.
I just can't see you getting a haul to get the 4th quarterback off the board. That's just where I look at it.
I don't think Minnesota cares because I think they know that if they don't take a quarterback, then Justin Jefferson sits out the year. He doesn't care.
I'm trading him if I'm Minnesota anyway. I don't want him. I don't want to pay him. Yeah.
That's stupid. Davis, I tend to like you, but sometimes your takes blow my mind.
I mean, do you want a shit quarterback throwing in the ball? I'm not paying this wide receiver all this money.
Kirk did.
I mean, Kirk's a good quarterback. Look how much money he's made.
Yeah, well, he's just literally fleeced everybody that has signed him.
He's gotten paid. He's got enough cold cash to make it happen.
I miss Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins, he's a baller.
Oh, he's in Atlanta now. He's gonna have some John Morant videos out there soon. You never know.
I just think Minnesota. I think they do much better starting over. I think they're in a bad spot. The team's in a bad spot. I'm not paying a superstar wide receiver all this money than having to build around him. That doesn't work.
I mean, I can agree with you, but they've also not listened to any trade calls for Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
and look at how much that Amon-Ra just got paid today on Wednesday. He guys got paid $120 million, which means Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase are about to get a bag.
I just think if you trade away your future to get the 4th quarterback coming out of this draft, when you can wait and get a Penix later on, I think that's by far stupid, and you're wasting your money on Justin Jefferson and wasting your future on this quarterback.
You could get Joe Milton. Ain't there right now. Got an arm.
I'm not going to endorse that.
Okay, so we'll go Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers. Take it away, Lamar. What do you got?
I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I like the Malik Neighbors draft pick, but I don't think that happens. I think they traded away. I think this is where the trade with Minnesota comes in, and then what would that be? 11.
Yeah.
Then I think you're looking at the Chargers getting a tackle. Let's see, probably J.C. Latham, because I mean you're going to miss out on Joe Alt, of course.
You're welcome.
Shut it. But I think at that point you've got Neighbors is gone, Alt is gone. I think you go with your ultimate need right now is a tackle.
You might could get Ofashu from Penn State. At 11, you could. I mean, Atlanta. I don't know. The Jets are the only person. If you trade back to 11, let's say the only person that's going to take a tackle there is the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know. And the Chargers haven't been very transparent in what they want, or what they're going to do. I know that Hort said that they want a haul. They don't want a trade that's going to essentially they don't want an even trade. They want it pretty one-sided.
Because they saw what happened to the Panthers last year, and that's what they want.
All right,
I don't know. It's curious. I'm curious to see if they don't take a receiver here, or if they trade this back, what they do with the receiver room. We got the running back room filled. So I think your need ultimately becomes now essentially your primary need is probably offensive tackle, and then or right tackle, and then probably DB. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. If they trade with Minnesota for the 11th pick, I mean, you're either looking at, I say J.C. Latham or Brock Bowers.
Gross. Knapp, question.
Yes,
Need
sir.
some backup here.
Mhm.
Fourth quarterback off the board. Are you giving a haul for it to move past the Giants here?
If you tell me which team I am, I'll tell you.
If you're Minnesota.
If I was running the show in Minnesota, I'm not trading up for J.J. McCarthy. That's just me.
All he does is hand the ball off anyway. I've said it for weeks now.
I have Penix rated higher than J.J. McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
For me. My list was Caleb Williams 1, Jaden Daniels 2, Penix 3, and then 4 I had Drake May, 5 McCarthy, 6 Bo Nix. So I mean, to me, McCarthy's another potential guy. And I guess if you believe in Kevin O'Connell, which I mean, I feel like he's a great play caller, and he can be trusted with a quarterback to mold. But I mean, that's a big. I agree with you, Davis, that's a big move. I mean, you're putting your job on the line.
I'm gonna say that's what you lose your job for right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just can't see it.
I actually do think Minnesota trades from 11 to 4, and then in my mock, I have Minnesota trading from 11 to 4, take McCarthy, and then I have Malik Neighbors actually falling to Arizona at 11, is what I think. But Arizona could also trade back up.
Yeah,
Like they could get that 11 and then go back.
because you could trade with the Bears at 9.
Yes. So what I believe happened last year is they traded out of 3 with Houston, and then they moved back up to go get Paris Johnson.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I could see that happening. It's going to be trade heavy, but no, for the record,
Oh,
I would not.
I think this draft it's gonna be just there's gonna be a lot of trades.
Yes.
With people moving out and then coming back in. And I think the Chargers is one of those that they ultimately trade back, whether that be late first round, early second round, or second round and third round, and then ultimately turn around and trade back up. Because I think you have about 2 or 3 positions that you don't really want to miss out on that are needs for the Chargers. So I mean, if you don't have your decision at 5, then you look at moving back.
I
but
will
you don't
say
wanna move
though,
out.
because we're in the same spot here with the Titans and the Chargers, it's either a tackle or it's a wide receiver at this point, right? For the first
Yeah.
round. The good thing about this draft is it's a very tackle heavy draft for the top 10, tackles, and they go all the way into like the early third round, I think. So if you don't take a tackle in the first round, your second round pick tackle is not going to be terrible, especially if you're putting me at right tackle, because Joe Alt's always been a left tackle, and I don't know this 100%, but from what I've read and looked at, it's harder for these guys to move from the left side to the right side and vice versa because their body is so used to taking hits on the left side that their footwork and all that other stuff is more level for their left side versus their right side, and it's just harder for them to do. So if you need a true right tackle instead of a left, then you might grab one in the second or third round that will work out for you at the end of the day.
Why would the Titans want a wide receiver?
Because we have two 35-year-old wide receivers.
All your money's going to be at the wide receiver position. You're going to be paying 2 first rounders and then 2.
Buddy, we have
guys.
$70 million in cap space. It doesn't matter.
You don't want to put all your money there.
Where else are we going to do it? We got a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal, just like the Bears will and everybody else. You throw money to get weapons.
I would go tackle an expensive position where you're probably going to have that guy for 20
I
years.
agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I don't think we make a sexy pick at 7. I think we take Alt or Fashu or Latham. I don't think we make that sexy pick of a wide receiver. I think we make the pick of a tackle. But wide receiver is a need for us. As of right now, people in the Titans organization don't believe in Traylon Burks, so they want to take a wide receiver that's better and then get him out of there for a third-round pick, I'm sure. Granted, I'm wearing a Traylon Burks jersey right now. I believe that this is his year. I think he's got a better coach. He got a better offensive coordinator. I think this is his year. He takes that leap that he should have took last year. But I think they take the non-sexy pick of Joe Walter at another tackle.
All right. I needed to hear that. Okay.
Yeah, but no, wide receiver is a need because you got 30-year-old Calvin Ridley, and then you've got 32 or 33, whatever he is, and DeAndre Hopkins, and they don't have a wide receiver 3 right now that's up and coming that they think of.
No, Calvin Ridley's he's actually 25.
Technically, he's 28 because he didn't play last or 2 years ago. So I'll take it.
Football math.
Football math. Okay, so I have Chargers. I have Neighbors or trade with Minnesota who take a quarterback or Alt. That's what I have.
Mm-hmm.
Knapp, what do you think?
I don't know.
I have the Chargers trading out of this pick, but
I think that's what happens.
yeah,
I
I actually think Chicago trades from 9 to 5 to go
5.
get Marvin Harrison Jr. But I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out.
No, that's definitely. It'll be like I said. I feel like the 3rd and 4th spot are that's what the draft will ride on, because it could get interesting if you take those 4 QBs with the first 4 picks, then it's off to the races for that number 5 spot.
I'm going to be a Bears fan if they get Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison Jr.
I think that they'll still – I agree with you. I think the Bears can take a lot out of this 9 pick and get up there even at 7 and take Neighbors. I still think Neighbors is Marvin Harrison Jr. is the most league-ready wide receiver, but Neighbors is – it's just almost like a Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase situation. Both of them are going to be great. No. I don't think there's Marvin Harrison Jr. is more league-ready, but Neighbors is going to be just as good.
I just like Neighbors because he's a big dude. He takes up a lot of space. Right. That's why I'd like to take him at 5. But I guess it depends on the haul. I'm big on a Dunze, whatever. I'm big on him too. So if he's available at 9, then your options kind of, do you take J.C. Latham or do you take a Dunze?
Right.
So I would say trade. Your safe bet is, because Minnesota's probably going to want to trade to that 4 spot, if anything. So I don't think it'll be with Minnesota. I don't hate that trade with Chicago.
Because you're still in the top 10 at that point.
Yeah,
I really do. I think LA. I think y'all trade with Chicago, move to 9, and take a tackle.
Yeah, I like that.
Fuego, I mean, he fits the mold. He's a right tackle. I'd say roll with it.
Yeah.
Hate the Bears right now.
Giants. I have no idea. I would say Penix, but I don't know.
They stink. I don't think they'd take a QB.
Nap, go ahead, because I don't know.
A Dunze.
Oh, wow.
I like that.
Need a dude.
Yeah.
Like right now, the Giants legit do not have a fearsome pass catcher that I can think of.
Darius Slayton's not enough.
Sterling Shepard?
Sterling Shepard.
Hang on. Wandale?
Oh, I mean, Wandale's good at football, but unproven. Jalen Hyatt is in the same mold. I mean, like, he's like I guess you'd call him a good player, but just unproven.
Yeah. No, I actually like that pick. I don't think I've seen that on too many mock drafts.
I mean, how aggressive is New York going to be to get up in these picks with Minnesota? It's going to be a competition because they're done with Daniel Jones. I mean, I wouldn't rule them out of getting up.
Yeah,
either.
But you've got him on a massive contract that you got to pay him, and nobody's wanting to trade for him, so you got to keep him and ride with him at this point.
Who's that?
Daniel Jones.
Dude,
did you say cut him?
Cut him. I mean,
that takes away
that's
all your
Ryan
cap
Tannehill's
space.
dead cap right there, baby.
Yeah.
Dude, I actually like Danny Dimes, but I can't believe the $40 million a year extension that they gave him. Because I mean, now like you're just tied to him for at least this season, and then probably 25. I mean,
you know what really sucks? I don't remember how many wins the Giants had before Tommy DeVito took over, but Tommy DeVito ruined their draft position.
He really did, though. He really did, and I swear when he came in, I think they were on the road in Vegas. And I was like, this is one of the worst quarterbacks I've seen step on an NFL field. And I was like, mark my words, they will lose every game left.
Then next game they beat the Commanders.
Dude, but hey, it made him a lot cooler. All right.
Yes.
Got the Italian stallion out there.
Yes. He is an Italian American. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, I don't hate that actually for them. I don't hate a Dunze for them.
Yeah, I don't either.
Good shit, Nat. Good shit.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it.
The Tennessee Titans.
Take it
it's
over.
It's a non-sexy pick. I've heard all this trade back BS. I've heard it all. We're taking Joe Alt, get him for 10 years, lock him in at left tackle, and let's ride.
That is a sexy pick. I would love to have Joe Alt.
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick.
Now, trade scenarios that I have heard, they trade out of it with like Denver or Vegas, most likely Vegas, and they would take J.C. Latham because apparently ownership is in love with J.C. Latham and they think he's just as good as Joe Alt. That could be a scenario I can see happening because they've done a lot with Latham recently, but I think that they stick to their guns here because you got Bill Callahan and let him ride with Joe Alt. And take a second round wide receiver.
I think tackles.
I don't think Vegas will make that trade. If they're going anywhere, they want to go
to number 2,
either higher or stay where they're at and try and get. I don't think they're making the move up there, so I think that's a safe pick.
I will say this: the Raiders have eyes for J.J. McCarthy. The Raiders reached out to the Titans to get the number 7 pick. Let me see if I can find what they thought that they offered.
Okay, so you just really shot down what I said.
I'm just telling you. Well, so they've had conversations centered to potentially trading for picks 5 to 7, which are the Chargers, Giants, and Titans. The type of trade could be made to put the Raiders in range for another trade up later or a player at another premium position, but it most likely makes sense if they move up for a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy.
Dude, what if 4th and 5th get traded and there's 5 QBs to go off the board?
That would be nuts.
The rest of the league is going to benefit. They're going to feast.
I will say this. If the first 5 picks are quarterbacks,
there's no way. There's no way. I can't see.
If the Titans have Marvin Harrison Jr. sitting in their lap, I will not take I will take not having Alt and take Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll 100% do it. Or if Neighbors is sitting there, 100% I'm going to do it.
I think that's unrealistic, but I think you're definitely looking at 4 QBs gone. 5 is a stretch, but that'd be kind of wild.
It would be nuts.
New
Well,
York
you're looking at jersey sales. You need to look at for the good of the team. You got to have a tackle.
I already said that this tackle class in this draft is deep.
Yeah, it is.
And you've got Bill Callahan, who's one of the, if not the best offensive line.
I know all
coach in the
about Bill
NFL.
Callahan. Been there, done that.
Well, you should have kept him because we got him now. And he'll take – I mean, they just got a backup off the Browns, and they said, well, he's got great potential, and we know he can work with him. I mean, he took backups for the Browns either last year or 2 years ago and made him the best offensive line in the NFL. I got all faith in him. Bill's my man.
I hope he can help Tony Pollard out for you. I really do. But left tackle is the second most important position in the game.
Behind kicker.
Behind punter.
Got to have a kicker.
All right, where are we going?
Matter.
At 7.
I got Joe Alt there.
It's got to be Joe Alt. That's the only move the Titans can make.
8, Atlanta. Who we got?
I ain't got a clue.
It'll be a defender.
Yeah, I was going to say
I think
it'd
it's
be
the first
defense.
defensive player off the
Byron Murphy inside because Grady Jarrett's getting old. So probably need a disruptor inside. Defensive-minded coach, Raheem Morris. Or you can go edge, which it would either be Latu or
Dallas Turner
or Jared Verse. I can see this being Jared Verse. I mean, they need some juice off the edge.
Yeah.
Like Falcons have no edge guys, like at all. None.
I think that one's pretty locked into. In terms of defense, it's just a matter of what body's going there.
Right. Okay.
I'd probably, if I had to guess, I'd say probably like Knapp said, off the edge, you get Dallas Turner.
Maybe they get their pick taken away since they got caught for tampering.
That ain't happening.
Maybe they'll give it to Washington.
Okay, I got Byron Murphy or Dallas Turner. So basically, I'm just going to put defensive player because that's what they need.
Whatever, the best defensive player they want because there's no other defensive players going anytime soon.
Right. Bears at 9. We had them trading up for Neighbors, but if they don't trade up, who are they taking?
I mean,
I don't know. Let me look at their offensive line.
I think Byron Murphy is going to be an option there for them as well.
I was thinking defense for them because
the interior. They need interior, you know.
Yeah.
I think we're going to trade the Commanders the 9th pick for their 36th pick and their 40th pick, and the 40th pick previously belonged to Chicago. Therefore, essentially, they got the 40th pick, Montez Sweat, and the 36th pick for the 9th pick.
That ain't happening. Bears already fleeced y'all on one trade.
Do you think they doubled down on protecting Caleb Williams, though?
I don't think their offensive line is bad, though. Didn't they have injuries on it early in the year and they didn't get them back?
I don't know who their tackle is.
On the left side is Braxton Jones, and on the right side is Darnell Wright. So, if anything, I mean,
I guess
I feel like you could upgrade Braxton Jones, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's kind of young as well. I think it would be like year 3 for him.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think their line's terrible. But I can see them, since they're getting Caleb Williams, going defense here and kind of pulling up Texans from last year, go quarterback defense, and then they've started to build around it. Let them build and let them do their thing.
I think
don't hate it.
Yeah,
I would trade for a first-round pick next year.
I hate you. Jets. I took Ofashu here from Penn State at 10.
Brock Bowers.
I can see that.
I don't like Brock Bowers, but
I don't know how to feel about Brock Bowers. He's a stud. I think, but I think he goes. I think the Jets take him here.
Davis, why do you not like Brock Bowers? Very curious.
I got to pull up some statistics.
Oh gosh. Mage does not need to be in any GM room ever.
Ever.
Austin Knapp, do I look like a tight end?
Here we go.
I don't.
Did you get?
Okay. He only weighs 20 more pounds than me.
Yeah,
We
but his
essentially
20
look the
pounds are
same.
muscle, not.
You got called Brock Bowers?
Huh?
No, he's saying that Brock Bowers doesn't look the part of a tight end like Gronk and Travis Kelce and them
I
do,
think the
Darren
tight end
Waller.
position's big.
Oh,
I mean, essentially, he's
okay.
a receiver.
But he's a receiver who can block.
Can he block? Is he a good blocker?
Did you not see Georgia this year?
Dude.
He's going into the NFL.
Ge-
We're going to see grown men.
Georgia's defense is basically an NFL defense.
Well, you didn't see the practice squad, did you?
Dude, on his blocking this year, he was dishing out concussions. I mean, talk.
Well, hey, I like Brock Bowers.
Helmet in the
I
nose.
don't like his size. It's the only thing I have against him.
I can agree. The body is kind of frail, but I mean, he's just a football player.
Yeah, that's what I do like about him. But I have to go with Mage a little bit. I'm still on the fence because I remember about there were talks about the Chargers taking him at 5, and I was like, I don't love it.
Is Bowers a better prospect coming out of college than Kyle Pitts?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
I
don't
would
know.
say yes.
Yeah, probably.
I think Kyle Pitts is more athletic.
Kyle Pitts is like the unicorn of all unicorns.
Yeah.
He's like 6'5", 240, run a 4.4, 40 vertical jump. I mean, golly.
Kyle Pitts is going to look good this year, though, with Kirk the Man.
Oh, I thought he was ass.
Kirk Cousins. I didn't say he was ass. I think that Brock Bowers is better coming out of college.
You didn't like he's a good quarterback.
No,
That was Lamar.
No.
I wouldn't say he's good, but he's better than most.
I mean, I had to go back and check these quarterback rankings and see.
Here we are. We're sitting here judging people, and not one of us have played quarterback.
I did for one game my freshman year.
Have you not seen me in Pike Flag football?
Brother, you were the
My
coach.
shoulder tore out first throw when I went to coaching. It's great. We can. I'm going to say this for Minnesota at 11. I just put trade to top 5. I don't know what else they're going to do. I mean, if nobody trades, who do they take? But they'll probably take a quarterback at Michael Penix. But I just don't. I don't think they're not going to trade up. I think they're going to offer a hefty haul and go.
This one, I've got a few mock drafts looking up here. This one has McCarthy falling to 11, and them taking him there.
I mean, I can see that. All he does is hand the ball off, so no, everybody knows that. You know,
I feel like we do this every year. I'm just gonna be really surprised if we just get so desperate for these quarterbacks. I just think if you just jump the gun and take one like that, that sets you back so many years. I just don't see it happening.
That would be hard for me to stomach watching McCarthy go off the board before Michael Penix.
yeah.
I agree with that.
But I think you need to prepare your stomach for that because I think it's going to happen. I think that with what Harbaugh's been saying, and now everybody's jumping on board that they think McCarthy is, he's the 3rd or 4th best quarterback in the draft right now, and I don't agree with it. I think he should be in like a 2nd or 3rd round, but what do I know? I'm just a guy with below average takes. So,
Touche.
Y'all like that? Good. I hope y'all like that.
It's corny.
So is you trying to trade back up into the top 10, but
I wouldn't put it past Washington to be aggressive. We don't have a left tackle, and I mean we don't. When I say we don't have a left tackle, we do not have a left tackle.
it's a deep tackle class. You'll get them.
But are you going to put somebody you're getting in the 2nd round?
Hell yeah, I am.
Your new franchise quarterback? No, you're
Hell
probably
yeah,
going to
I
try
am.
to trade back up into the 1st round.
No, I'm taking the 2nd one.
I can see him trading up. It depends on how many go off the board. I mean, hell, if we're just picking quarterbacks this draft, yeah, you might as well sit back and wait. But if they start going off the board, then yeah, I think it's time to at least trade up into the 20s.
Okay.
You've got
12.
6 top 100 picks. You can move.
12, Denver. Who do y'all got? Knapp. Go ahead. Yeah, I don't know.
For me, I mean, I think they're going to go edge because I think they're going to be the team that strikes out on a quarterback. I think that they'll want to move up and they don't get it. I think they'd want to move up and take like JJ McCarthy, but they probably just sit there.
Right.
I had to guess.
They might want to get offensive line to protect Zach Wilson.
Honestly, if you just put a hot woman that's a mom in the end zone, he's running straight to her.
Do you think there's a chance they take Penix there if he's available? If they don't trade away this pick, if they strike out on the QBs, do you think there's a chance they either take Penix or trade back?
Definitely trade back. I don't know with Penix going to Denver. I mean, it's definitely possible. I just keep going Penix in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think Penix, man, if he can
13
stay
or
healthy-
trading back?
What's that?
Going at 13 or
Yeah, I see Denver like trading out of the pick is what
Yeah.
I think. Or take defense. I could see them
Yeah.
taking like an edge. And then Vegas takes Penix at 13 is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
the one thing Washington's done the last 3 years, because they've just been in this middle range of the draft, which is just like, what do you do? They've traded back in just about all of them, which they've gotten good compensation back. It's just Ron Rivera and his crew just don't know how to draft anybody. They're not very good talent evaluators. So in this range, I'm always a big fan of, hey, just get the hell out of there. Just get
Yeah.
rid of
I like it.
Because once you get the picks, like really like 17 or 18 through 32, it's not about what your need is at that point. It's about who's the best player on the board right now that we could use. And that's normally what you go with. Because you're in this 12 spot, it's like, okay, I didn't get the 10 best players on the board, but I also need a lot of stuff. So do I get more picks? That way I can boost it up in the 2nd through the 7th round, or what do I do here? So I agree with you. All right, well, that's our top 12 picks right there.
Yep.
So JBA mock draft coming out tomorrow. Draft is tomorrow. Knapp, we appreciate you being on for all your insight.
Yep.
Get some dinner with your family, dude.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate you. We'll see you soon. We'll have you on soon whenever NFL starts for sure, so that we can get some breakdown on how these picks turn out and how bad the Washington Commanders are actually going to be with Jaden Daniels and all these picks are getting on the top 10.
I hope you enjoy last place in the AFC South. So
We'll see.
you're wearing
All
a
right.
Houston hat, dumbass.
No, this is a Tennessee hat. Tennessee Oilers, buddy. Tennessee
man.
Oilers. All right, Knapp. Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate it.
All right,
Appreciate it.
fellas. Back to it. Let's go weekend picks. Who's going first?
Mage.
You're up,
One
baby.
second while I pull this up. So anyway, I am
Do we want to
coming
do
off.
pause? Hold on. Do we want to do Thursday night into the weekend, or do you want to do normal Friday into the weekend?
I'm going to do game 2 picks, which starts tomorrow, I think.
Didn't that start today?
Game 2 or no, wait, game 3. My bad. Game
3 picks. Okay, gotcha.
Game 3 starts tomorrow. So gave you guys a wager of plus 35. Had a nice little line for you guys last week. If you didn't tell, you didn't make money. Sorry. So this week we're gonna go with something similar. We're gonna bet on all 8 games, but we're gonna split it. We're gonna have 4 home teams winning, 4 away teams winning. So with my picks, we got Cavaliers, Magic. We're taking the Cavs. This series is over.
Oh, let me write this down. Hang on. So you got Cavs.
Yep, just Cavs money line. And then we got Knicks 76ers. I think everybody's going to be on the Sixers. Hey, they got this game. No. Sixers are dead. Their morale's so down. Knicks are going to take this one.
Okay.
We got Nuggets Lakers. Same scenario. Oh, the Lakers are going to come out hot, motivated after that game. Yep, no, sorry. Y'all aren't good enough.
Okay.
Bucks Pacers. I'm going to take the Bucks. Clippers Mavericks. I want the Clippers. Timberwolves Suns. Going to Phoenix. I think the Timberwolves are just too young. Too much.
Dude, Anthony Edwards has become
to
a very close second to LeBron.
He's nasty.
He's
Very
good.
I like him.
And he talks shit, which is awesome.
Dude, when he was talking back to KD, like KD he couldn't even talk back. He just smiled. Yeah.
He just knew. Hell yeah.
How many picks is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Hold on. This NBA schedule's weird, man.
Well, I think that they go, isn't it?
All right, I found it.
They
So
play the first 2 games, and then it's like back to back to back or something like that. It's back to
So
back.
game 3 for the Pelicans, Thunder, and Heat and Celtics are on the same night as the Magic, and Cavaliers, and Nuggets, Lakers playing game.
Yeah, it's
4.
something funky. It gets weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm hoping Miami sticks with this. They're up now with 4 to go. But anyway, I'm going to take Boston going to Miami.
Boston money
And-
line.
Yes. And then we're going to take the Pelicans at home against the Thunder I got the Thunder winning tonight, but I think the Pelicans go at home.
Okay. Lamar.
I'm gonna go baseball for Friday. We're gonna go with Baltimore to beat Oakland, or to cover the spread against Oakland. It'll probably be 1.5. I'll take that. You got Corbin Burns on the mound for Baltimore. Let's see. Take Texas over Cincinnati. Money line. Nathan Eovaldi, he's a stud. And then let's see here. We'll take Miami over Washington. And that's
So I got Baltimore spread, Texas money line, Miami money line.
yeah. I'm trying to play it somewhat safe because my gambling account is in shambles.
Okay. So mine are not going to be starting tomorrow. Mine are going to be starting on Friday and this weekend. So I've got the Florida Panthers money line Saturday. I also have the Stars money line on Saturday. Hold on, sorry.
Get it together.
And then I have got, I want to say, who plays in the NBA on Saturday? All right. It's not showing up. Perfect. NBA. Here we go.
I think it's Boston.
Scores Saturday. Let's see. I've got, can you get there? Thank you. I have got the Thunder money line, and I'm taking Lakers spread. So it's an all Saturday parlay.
Does the NBA always have a playoff game on the night of the NFL draft? I don't think that's a very good idea on the viewership aspect.
I don't remember. I feel like that's not a very good call. Whoever made that one.
It's not. No, because I don't know. And they want to promote viewership and all this shit, and they're just not going to get it with that night. Because, I mean, everybody's going to be tuned into that. So, I don't know. All right. Well, that's our picks. We'll get them out to you. Anybody got anything else?
Nope.
We appreciate you joining. We appreciate you listening, as always. This episode is brought to you by Way Good. It's the delicious treat of sweet snacks on ice. Davis is using them to lose 10 pounds. Knapp, we appreciate you being on. We will see you next week for full draft recap and see if we were right on any of these trades or anything like that. Peace.
Peace.
Left hand up.